As leaders continue to tinker the best political structure for the efficiency of the nation's democratic institutions, the proposal for the creation of additional 31 states is raising some dust, not surprisingly. As with all constitutional amendment proposals, these submissions will undergo thorough legislative scrutiny, including public hearings, stakeholder engagements, and multiple levels of approval even before any constitutional changes that will reduce bottlenecks can be effected. Whichever way it turns out, the craving for a better Nigeria is both paramount and urgent. Well, joining us on Arise Prime Time to discuss this is a senator, former chairman, Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes in the 8th Assembly, former minority whip of the 9th Senate, now a legislative consultant, Chukwuka Utazi. Glad to have you join us on Arise Prime Time.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yep. Very good to have a senator to discuss this issue of creation of 31 states. First off, what does the Constitution say about state creation?
Well, you see, if you want to know what 1999 Constitution has amended, says you go to Section 8 of 1999 Constitution. You know, Section 1, with over 3 subsections, tell you what you have to do. One, an area that wants to be created as a state. First of all, they have to make sure that they get 2/3 of the membership of the people from that area in the National Assembly, meaning the House of Reps and the Senate. They will do the same thing in the House of Assembly. The membership in that House of Assembly, and then in the local government area, you must get 2/3 of all of them. And once you have gotten all those things prepared, then you write your proposal for state creation. But it doesn't end there. You have to also to go for referendum. That one is now beyond the areas that are looking for local government, for state creation. Then the referendum, you have 2/3 of the people from the area that want the state creation. Just like in my area, in Enugu State, they have been demanding for a state creation, other state movement. So this is something that they have gone over and over since 1979 till present. So they have been undergoing the same process all the time, getting the members of membership of the area concerned to get to 2/3 of their endorsement in the House of Reps, in the Senate, in the House of Assembly, and then the local government areas. After that referendum has gotten, you've got that 2/3. You still got another one. The federal government have to subject that the 2/3 you've gotten from the area demanding to the national referendum. And then you have, that was simple majority of the states of the federation say they support such a demand. If that meets that demand, it means that you now go for the alteration of the Constitution. That's Section 9. You have to go to Section 9 and start the processes of altering the Constitution. Because if you already, in the 1999 Constitution, you already have the states that are already created already. The numbers of local government areas that are created. Because once you start doing that, you are going to have new local government created, as case may be or not. You are going to have members of House of Assembly from the same area. You are going to have members of the Senate and House of Reps. So that's why Section 9 comes in. It tells you all the processes you have to follow and then get these things there. But it's a rigorous exercise.
Yeah, so from even as I'm sitting here,
yeah,
it looks to me like a recipe for failure or impossibility. I mean, I had Jega here and he said it was the army, and when they did this, they didn't want states to be created. What do you think? I mean, from what you've explained.
Well, you see, I think the framers of the 1999 Constitution as amended want to make it a very difficult option that anybody will want to have that. But I still say that if the government of the Federation is interested, they will cause it to pass.
How?
You know, because, you see, you have National Council of States. You see, if they meet, if the federal government is interested, just like it was done in 1964, the Midwestern region was created You know, so it was not an impossible option before. So Nigeria has done it before, and during the civilian regime or the First Republic. So it means it can be done. Once there is a meeting of the minds between the central government, the federal government, and the component states of the federation, that this thing should be done. It should be so. And I feel that this thing can be done. For example, if you look at the 6 geopolitical zones you have in the country today, you know, you have 6, 6, 5, 7. North Central, the other geopolitical zones.
Yes, I'm going to come to that.
You know, they have, so Northwest have 7. You know.
Okay, currently.
Yes, currently. So, but you go to Southwest is 6, North Central 6. You know, you come down to the Southeast, you have 5. So, if the country looked at in 1964, saw the reason to create the Midwestern region, you know, out of Southwest, out of the Western region, I don't see the reason why the federal government cannot look into the Southeast that have been agitating and asking that let there be parity.
All right.
You know, so, and give them that one state. But if giving one state is going to be trouble, make every other one to come 5-5 to 7-7, since we already have 7 in the the Northwest. You know, they have already 7 states. So you can just go to the Southwest 1, you know, North Central 1. You go to Southeast, give them 2.
Okay.
And all that. So now if you do that, you bring them to parity, and then there will be even development, and people will have, this agitation will end.
Okay, now you're raising these issues. Let me ask you 2 questions at a go. One is, what's your sense of 31 states proposal? Abuja will become a state. Total will be 67. That, and then the breakdown. North Central, 6 more. Northwest, 5. Northeast, 4. Southeast, 5. South, 4, and Southwest, 7. So, I hope you can put 2 questions.
No, you shouldn't be bothered about that, because in every assembly, in the 8th assembly, which I was a member, and the 9th, there will always be, you know, this constitutional amendment.
Okay.
And during the process of constitutional amendment, issues of state creation has always arisen. It's not a new thing. So when we are hearing about that is 31, it is not a new thing. It's things that have been happening before, in the past. So all we are saying is that, look at if you have a 31, I don't know, don't have the records of what it was in the 8th assembly or 9th assembly, but the demands keeps coming. So what we have to do is that if the federal government is actually interested, trying to solve problem, this problem of that some areas are more and some others are less, and you want everybody to come to at least at a place where all of them can compete favorably, for even development in the areas. I think you have to do that.
Okay.
So we should not look at the number. We should look at the justice of the demand. Not just because many people, because Southeast says we're only 5. Every other person.
So for you, what will be just?
What will be just is look at the whole thing, the way things are. For me, we have already 7 in the northwest geopolitical zone. Make all the other remaining 5 geopolitical zones to be 7.
Okay, then
that's the way I feel.
You have parity.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to what Jega says. The former INEC chairman. He says, it should not be so much about state creation, but about good governance and deliverables of democracy dividends. For him.
Yeah, that's his own understanding.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah.
Nobody will even be talking about state creation if the politicians are giving the people what they need in terms of good governance.
It's not just that. We need good governance is very, very important. You don't even need to argue that. It's something that is basic. We expect from any government that they give governance, give account of themselves, even development, make sure that people have a sense of belonging, that they are catered for. So all those things are there. But I will tell you, you see, if the good governance is all the thing you need, you shouldn't even have anything. You just monolithic government, let one person be at the center and just continue administering people. That's not it. You see, people have agitation. You know, you give people opportunity. It gives them that opportunity. That gives them the sense of belonging, that they can do things for themselves, which other people will not. This is a plural society with diversity as part of our hallmark. So if you allow people to develop at their own pace, you know, I think the people will be happy. They will be happier if we do that. So that's what I'm saying, that Southeast is always demanding this. And because Southeast is demanding this, some other states of the Federation will come up with their demands too. You know, so but the justice the Southeast is demanding, just like we have Southeast Development Commission. Since 1970, after the Civil War, the Southeast demanded that the 3 R's, which go on, promise them, that will come to fruition.
And all that, yeah.
You know, can you imagine? It's almost how many years now since after Civil War? We are just getting Southeast Development Commission that should have been there since 1970 to take care of the trouble and all the havoc, the demolition and destruction that the Southeast witnessed during the Civil War. But we are just coming now. Now that we have gotten it now, every other geopolitical zone wants it, including even the Niger Delta region that already have NDDC. They are also asking for one again. So this is the issue. So the thing is that the persons, people who make this is a free society. We can make such demand. But the leadership of the country, working in concert with the National Council of States, the governors and all that, sit down, they look at all these issues and then do justice.
So it's a question of... For you, it's a question of equity, balance, and the cry for marginalization.
Yes. That's why Willings Commission, remember in the colonial administration was there. The minorities cried, how are you just trying to move Nigeria up? What is our fate in the hands of the majority? Then it was the Igbo, the Yoruba Fulani, and the Yorubas. You know, so divided that way. So the minorities, the Willings Commission, they have to go all over to United Kingdom to make their demand that you have to listen to the cries of the minorities.
Okay, so what do you tell critics who say it's unwieldy, the administrative costs will be so high, and then more burdens on the federal government? Because even now as it is, some states, I don't know whether to say they're glorified local governments that can't even take care of themselves in terms of, like I said earlier, sustainability, viability, and all that.
What I have to tell them is, look, you see, we've discussed this extensively in the past. We restructure the country. Create the states, restructure the zones, and according to the geopolitical zones, let them work. But this issue of every month you go with your begging bowl to Abuja to receive is not the way out. It makes some people to be lazy.
So the way the country is now,
yeah. So what
if you then create this,
no. So if you do justice to the people that are asking for that, they are raising justice against them, like the Southeast, you know, you tie their hands back and you tell them to just continue. Only 5 states, you know, with our population and everything, it's not fair. You have this country have to do justice to the Southeast. If it means doing justice to the Southeast, we make orders to get one state or thereabout. Let it be done. But let the Southeast feel at home that they are part and parcel of the country.
So I'm sure that you've made the calculations in your heart or your head. I mean, 31. So from what you're saying now, apart from the almost near impossibility,
yes,
from the way the Constitution is, from what you're saying now, if you're asked to, because again, the argument is unwieldy. If you're asked to say,
unwieldy, we moved from 4 regions, 3 to 4 regions, to 12 states, to 19, to 27, to where we are. What are you talking? What are you saying?
But 67.
No, I'm not saying
so what I'm
67.
saying, what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is,
67.
and that's why I'm asking this
I'm not
question.
saying 67.
Okay, that's why I'm asking this question. So if you were to propose, maybe, okay, let me just use the word cut down.
Yeah.
In terms of what you're talking about, equity, marginalization, and balance.
Yes.
East getting theirs.
Yes.
For there to be a balance. So how many states would you want to be created?
I want the parity of the geopolitical zones. 7 in the northwest, 7 in the northeast, 7 in north central, 7 in the southwest, 7 in the southeast, and 7 in the south-south. That's what I want this is. So if you have such.
Don't you think that those people will cry out too, because you're guessing, even though for you it's balancing, but they're not getting any additional?
Well, if you want the cry, there will always be cry. But I want to tell you, even in the North Central, check in the Kano and Katsina alone. This local government you have in that area is more than the whole entire Southeast. So if you want to say that crying, people are already. You can imagine. You will bring 360, membership of the National Assembly. He will go Kano alone. Kano alone, and you check the membership of all of us, right? Kano and the Katsina will take care of the whole Southeast. And we are one country. That's not fair. That is not just. That's not equitable. That does not give a sense of belonging to people, that they are part and parcel of the entity, of the society they find themselves. Let the leadership of the country, on that thing, we can do it. A civilian administration during the Tafawa Balewa Zik regime, they created Midwest region. Nobody died. They went through what the Constitution said. The 1963 Republican Constitution. They went through it. Was it as tough as what we had? No, it's leadership. So understanding. Why didn't the North say the Midwest region should not be created? So they saw it. It's justice. Okay, yeah. So let's sit down here. It's not just about the enormity of the numbers or the number of people or the process. No, look at do justice. Yeah, but I'm talking about the process. So that people have a sense of belonging. Yeah, for them to be able to do it now, what will then happen to the process you've just... The process, that's why I say that if you want to do it, we have amended the constitutions. Yeah. This is not the first time. In 8th Assembly, we amended the constitution. In 9th Assembly, we amended the constitution. It's the process. Once the leadership of the Federation is interested in amendment, it will work. But if they are not interested, it will not. Because they will call the meeting. The president and his ministers will sit and discuss with it, with his legal advisor, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister for Justice. They will look at all the issues. They bring a Council of State and discuss with them. And then they will go back to their state assemblies because they are all going to vote. We have done all that before. So if we agree in doing justice, not being selfish, not caring for the other. If we do what was done in 1964, could be repeated. Most of the other states we created today were done under the military fiat. Yeah. Military is an aberration. This is not the will of the people. So anybody stays there, you wake up and think, if you like an area, you give them a state. If you don't like, you lump all of them together and abandon them there. Just like what happened to the Southeast. All right. All those things were there. Enugu State and Ebonyi, when they came, it was late in the day. Okay, well, you know what, does this make sense to you? Yeah. Jega says that this agitation, is a result of some people, elitist, who are not in the thick of things. You know what I mean by that? So what they are doing is let states be created so they can be in the midst of things, getting the plump sum, as it were, become important. That's what he's saying. That begs the question, and I doubt somebody in the person of Professor Jega can. Okay, just this question on not that one. On you just want to carve an empire for yourself. for the early. That's not just it. It's
okay.
Beyond that.
This just one question on local government autonomy, because that's the time I have. Some governors tried to pass laws that conflict with that of the apex court. What's your reasoning on this issue, particularly Soludo of Anambra State and OT of Abia State?
You see, once the National Assembly, you see, the Supreme Court decided to make law. Actually, it is the duty of the National Assembly to do it. So what we expected, since the Supreme Court has the courage to take the gauntlet, we expect the National Assembly by now to have finished with everything about that. By now, that is still lingering is something that the Akpabio administration, the chairmanship of the National Assembly, should be called to question. He should sit up with the National Assembly to do justice. Because the duty of legislation is that of the National Assembly. That of the judiciary is the interpretation. But when you do not do what you are going to do, they will work for you. So what we expect now is Akpabio, as the chairman of the National Assembly, should not even allow this year to exceed without getting this thing done. This can be done the first and already they have introduced the bills.
Yeah,
they introduced the bill, but when the tax reform came, then that autonomy took the back seat. Now that the country is agreed on the issue of tax reform, I expect Akpabio and his two, before Easter, before we start going for Easter break, to get this the first quarter. Let them do it and let's move on.
So governors can take their place, so local government can take its place.
Yes, so you don't allow anything.
All right.
That somebody is doing the unthinkable.
All right, Senator Chukwuka, thank you for being on Arise Prime Time.
The pleasure is all mine to be here today.
Good.